something's been on my mind lately, and I have to get it off my chest. This book right here, because I have been reading Oathbringer, I keep thinking back to Words of Radiance. You know, I enjoyed it the first time I read it, but the more I think about it, the more I reminisce, the more it becomes such a memorable experience. I mean, just the amount of memorable scenes in this book is just incredible. First off, this is going to be a spoiler discussion of a particular scene in Words of Radiance. So, if you don't want to hear spoilers about Words of Radiance and The Way of Kings, then don't watch this. Go watch some other videos that I made. I'll pop them up just wherever. Just go watch them. Let's get to the scene. Obviously, we know what the scene is. It involves a lot of Stormlight. It involves Kaladin, Adolin, and Kaladin fighting together in the arena. That's not the scene I'm talking about. You were wrong. I misled you. No. We're talking about a scene that comes a few chapters before. If that duel didn't occur, I think this scene would be the standout scene in the book. Besides, well, the other one with Kaladin getting his powers back, and then the other one, and that other one, and that other one. Point is, there are so many amazing scenes in this book that you could pick out as your favorite, but the scene and basically the whole chapter I want to talk about is chapter 52, titled Into the Sky. People might remember this as the scene where Kaladin finally learns to fly. Interestingly, this is not just a Kaladin chapter. See, up until this point, almost every chapter in the Stormlight Archive was sectioned off between characters, but it was in this chapter he is going very rapidly between a scene with Shallan and a scene with Kaladin. I would be interested to know if they were written as separate chapters and then combined. It just worked so damn effectively. I honestly wish that more chapters were written with that interchange. For those of you who don't remember, it starts off with Kaladin strolling along the Shattered Plains, not very happy about Bright Lord Amaram. He's sort of responsible for Tien dying and is directly responsible for Kaladin being branded a slave and losing his shard blade. Kaladin is stewing on this and he wants to fly like the assassin and why he wants to be prepared, and it's a very exciting scene because you're following the logic. Am I going to make this work? He checked over his shoulder. He'd passed the guard post and now nobody was close enough to see him. So, belt laden with bags of spheres, Kaladin stepped off into the chasm. And then we're in a Shallan scene within the same chapter. Shallan did not care for Sadio's war camp. So what is Shallan doing? Well, she's working-ish for the Ghost Bloods as Vale, her persona that she's crafted. She's trying to get information from Bright Lord Amaram, who is one of Sadio's generals. In this process, she is learning how to master her light weaving skills, just as Kaladin is trying to master his own skills. We jump back and forth rapidly, like sometimes not even a page passes before we're back. This whole chapter is like very complex and involves jumping between Kaladin and Shallan doing very technical skill related things. Shallan is sneaking into this home and trying to impersonate other people and get information for the Ghost Bloods, which she kind of works for but doesn't. And then the real blow hits when she sees Amaram is wielding the shard blade of her brother Helloran. He is wielding the blade, meaning that he must have killed Helloran. However, she doesn't know that we know that Kaladin was the one who got the blade first before Amaram killed his friends and whatnot. We know in this revelation much more than Shallan. Shallan just thinks that Amaram is a murderer, which we already knew. But now we know on top of that, Kaladin killed Shallan's brother. That's a big deal. That blow of information is accompanied with this soaring. Kaladin is soaring and feeling light and life at the same time that Shallan gets this terrible information about Amaram. We are grounded with Kaladin and Syl, and at the end of the chapter, Kaladin is still thinking about how he could kill Amaram. He could still sneak in there like the assassin in white and get away with it. He could frame the assassin in white for Amaram's murder. This tension between him and Syl, between him and his duty and him and honor and this promise that he's made, this tension is getting worse and worse. Shallan and Kaladin's character arcs are merged within this chapter in this kind of perfect synchronicity where they're both leveling up skill-wise together, and they're both getting massive blows to their own self-confidence. So their self-confidence builds up and then is struck down. I know Adolin and Kaladin, fighting back to back. That's a great scene, and Kaladin finally getting Syl to come back, fighting off Moash, and there's just so many wonderful scenes in the book. But when I look back on the book and I think about perfectly constructed moments, and I think this one's a bit underrated. You know, Kaladin learning to fly, that's a huge deal, and it's a magical moment, and I think that's what I love about it. Sanderson is so focused on the technical aspects of his magic, on this hard magic system, that sometimes the wonder gets missed. That's fine, you know, it's like a scientific approach to the magic systems. There are certain wonder aspects, you know, the fun, the thrill of using this magic, and I think in that scene he perfectly have this, well, the logical figuring out how to use the lashings in the right way, but also just the wonder of the act and the magic itself. Combine that with Shallan's sleuthing and getting important information that we've been craving to get as readers. We want more info. So much is packed into that one chapter because of this cross-cutting. If it had been two separate scenes, would not have been nearly as memorable. I will wrap this up. I really just wanted to talk about this one chapter, which for whatever reason just sticks in my mind. You know, the more I think about and reflect upon Words of Radiance, the more it grows in my memory. What does everyone else think? What is your favorite scene from Stormlight Archive? I hope that this was mildly interesting. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you have not already. And yeah.